Hi, John Greger from Cold Snap Photography with another video on tips and tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about filtration systems and specifically the View filtration system. This is a filtration system that I've had for several months now. I've been working with it intensively, and it's the one that I've been recommending to students and other people that ask me what kind of filtration system should they get. The View filtration system has some very specific features that are really make it stand out from a lot of the others, and I just want to go over those so people understand how they work. And the first thing that we should look at is the holder, the actual holder that holds the filters. And when you buy that holder, the View 100mm filter holder, it comes with, basically it comes with three pieces. It comes with the system that holds the filters, where you slide the filters in the slots, and then it comes with two rings. These are standard, and the two rings are for 77mm and 82mm. The reason for that is that most professional level lenses are either 77mm or 82mm in size. If you have a lens that is not a 77 or an 82, but something smaller than that, you would simply take your lens that's smaller. In this case, I've got a 72mm lens, and take a 72 to 77mm adapter ring, which you can just screw onto the front of the lens like so, and then take the 77mm holder and screw that onto the front, if we can get it here. There we go. We screw that on, and then simply put the holder onto that, and you have the system ready to go. So it's a fairly simple step-up ring. It doesn't affect the functioning of the holder at all. So that's a real quick and easy, simple solution if you don't have the 77 or 82 millimeter thread sizes on your lenses. Let's take a look at some of the other features of this system. So let's take a look at the filter. I'm going to put it on a normal sized lens here with 77mm, which is my wide angle lens that I typically use, and I'm going to attach the holder to the 77mm. So I would take the 77mm adapter ring that comes with it, and now the first thing you have to ask is if you want to use a polarizer with your filter setup. If you want to use the polarizer, you take the View polarizer, which is an 82mm polarizer, so it will fit on either the 77mm ring or the 82mm ring. You don't have to have a separate polarizer for either one. You can use the same polarizer whether you're putting it on a 77mm lens or an 82mm thread size lens. The thing that you have to know is that the View polarizer is see how thin that is? An extremely thin polarizer. And it's designed that way specifically so it can work with this system and you can use other filters with it. So I don't recommend that you buy a different type, a different brand to put in there, because it won't work. It'll interfere with the rest of the system. So this is an excellent, the glass is excellent and the quality is excellent. So you just simply drop it in the 77mm ring size and thread it on. Make sure that you get it on there good so that the threads catch, and you can tell when it quits turning. You can see the little knurled things, they stop turning. Now once that's on, I simply thread this onto the front of the lens, like so. I take the holder, and the holder has two thumb screws right here, and I back those out so they're backed out all the way. And I just slide this in place, and then I tighten those thumb screws down on the back. So I just screw them on the back here is what I'm doing. I tighten those two thumb screws down. And now the holder is set and in place. A couple of things that you should look at and know. If you can see right here on the back of this holder is a little rotate ring. That rotate ring will rotate the polarizer. So I can activate the polarizer from the back side of the filter system. Great feature. I don't have to be reaching around front and trying to operate it. I can just, when I'm looking at the back and looking through the camera, I can turn the polarizer and see the effect that it's having. The second thing you'll notice is that there's several slots here. There are actually 3 slots that are on the front of this. And that means that I can put up to 3 different filters on. So the first thing, if I'm doing a neutral density, a straight neutral density, which is going to be the 100 millimeter square, I would put that into the first slot. And the reason that I put it into the first slot is because there is a seal system that snugs it right around there so that light doesn't leak in obtusely around the filter. So if I'm doing a straight neutral density, I would put it in the very first slot. If I want to use a graduated neutral density, I can put the graduated goes dark on top, light on bottom. I would put that in one of the other slots, either the front one or the middle one in this case, so I can put that on there as well. Now the wonderful thing about this system is if I want to add yet another filter, so here I have another graduated filter, which I'll talk about the differences between these two, I can add that on the front as well. So I can double filter on my graduated filters or on a straight neutral density in front of my neutral density and my polarizer. That's one of the wonderful things about this system. I've got 4 filters on here. I can still operate my polarizing filter right here. I can adjust my my graduated neutral density filters right here, either individually or in unison, whichever way I want to go. It makes it a very versatile filtering system. Now, the View filtration system, here are the standard filters that you can get. You can get a 1-stop neutral density, a 2-stop neutral density, a 3-stop neutral density, and a 10-stop neutral density. Those are all the 100 millimeter squares. And you can put those in. My favorites to work with are the 3 or the 10-stop. You can also get a varying degree of graduated neutral densities. And you can get those in 2 different varieties from them currently. One is called the soft graduated neutral density. So this one right here is a 3-stop soft neutral density, and you can see that it gradually tapers from very dark to clear, absolutely clear. The other filter is called a hard neutral density, hard graduated neutral density. It's a 3-stop as well. 3 stops up here, clear down here, and the change is very abrupt. You see how it changes very quickly there? So that's the hard, but it actually has just a little feather. It's not an absolute hard straight line. It's got a little bit of a feather, which I have found for landscape work works really, really well. I shoot on Lake Superior a lot. It's a vast lake and it has a horizon line, and a lot of times right on the horizon line there's a significant difference in illumination from the water below to the sky up above. And I find that this hard graduated neutral density works really well in a lot of those situations. In fact, one of my setups that I use frequently is I will use the graduated neutral density. I'll use a straight neutral density. I'll put the graduated neutral density in there, the soft grad, so that I can darken the sky, particularly the higher part of the sky, the upper part. And then if I need to, because there's an abrupt change, I will take, typically it's a little bit less than this, I'll use a 1, 1.5, or 2-stop hard graduated neutral density, and I will place that a little bit lower on the horizon, so that it is right on the horizon where this is feathered back just a little bit. That combination gives excellent results. These are a few tips that are unique to the View holder that those of you who are interested in a really advanced system will find very, very handy.